Okay. Hey y'all, how you doing? I'm hoping that you can't see well, you can see that, but maybe if I move out back, you should still be able to hear me okay. Uh, Good seeing y'all. Trying to get this going, get on to the next. Let's see here. Yeah, that all looks good to me. This live is limited to the age. Alright, so we're going live on both. And we shall see what's going on. Alright, buddy. So yeah, we're streaming here. No, my question for you was what kind of steering wheel do you have?
Right now I'm using a PXN V10.
Oh, what?
PXN. I've never heard of it either, but it's actually really not that bad. It's just, I was kind of wanting to get a direct drive wheel. This was the best that I could get at the time.
So who's the company? Like I got Logitech.
The company is PXN.
Oh, that's actually the name of it. Okay.
22.399.
Yeah, I'd have to look those up. I mean, is it like just kind of like a starter one, you know, just kind of get so you can get on here kind of shit?
I think it's maybe like a step above a beginner wheel.
New fast flat for you.
Well, hell, as long as the thing works, you know. Like, it sucks because that's the thing about wheels and rigs and all that. Every time that you find, like, you get something, you'll see something that's like way better. It's like, ah, oh, damn.
21.9.
Like, I want to get the, I'm saving up for a RS6 rig, which is badass. Like, it's a rig. It, you know, you, like, it's got the whole gyro deal where it vibrates and turns and all that shit. I was about to get it.
22.284.
I don't know if I should blow, you know, $1,500 just yet. So
Yeah, that's how I was feeling, but I'm pretty much ready to spend that now.
exactly. Yeah, well, you should, man. It just makes it more fun. But I mean, yeah, I've been trying. I just get a little more each, you know, like every couple of years. I'll just build onto it.
Yeah, my big thing here recently was just getting the computer itself built up so that it could run, you know, all the iRacing stuff with no problem. Now that I got that taken care of, I'm thinking about upgrading my wheel, because I really want a direct drive, and I'm really thinking about getting a Moza.
Yeah, I can't remember what it is, but there's this one. Oh shit! Hold on. Yeah, there's this one. I think it. I want to say it's by Fanatic, but it's like you can. It literally pops in and pops out just like in a real car, real race car, and you can, you know, pop out your cup, you know, your oval or your circular racing wheel for like a Formula racing wheel. It's pretty sweet.
3, 2.
Yeah, now mine does that. I can take my wheel off and put a different one on it if I wanted to.
Oh, that's cool. I don't have that capability, I don't think. Which makes it kind of weird when I'm playing, you know, if I'm racing in a Formula car.
So I guess I can't play
Yeah, and it's actually really nice because if you have a rig like how my rig is set up, it's just like when I sit in it, I feel like I'm in a race car because it's kind of cramped, you know, and I got the wheels like right up on top of me, almost like if you remember watching Dale Jr. drive his race car, like he could rest his whole forearm on the steering wheel and use it to turn it, and that's kind of how I do it.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, that's it's actually funny because I'm teaching my daughter to drive, and she she's just now starting, so she's never quite sure which way the wheels are facing. I said, oh, you know, I'll have to get her that white tape for the top at 12 o'clock on the wheels, so you'll. And I asked her, so you want me to put a piece of tape in at 12 o'clock on the wheels so you know where it's at? She's like, yes, that would help greatly, thank you. But yeah, it's just one of those things. So you want to go in circles, man? So guys.
Yeah, let's do a few laps.
Oh, go ahead, bro.
.466. .338. You've got the fastest lap.
A lot of braking these old heavy cars, huh?
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm getting the brake bias figured out still.
21.213.
Yeah, you gotta play around with it.
You just set the fastest lap.
Yeah, man, we got some good fun shit later coming up in our near future. These cars are very hard to drive. I love it. These cars are very hard to drive. I love these, man. This is awesome.
21.594.
They definitely take all your concentration.
Outside.
Yeah,
Go low.
I followed you right up the
Outside,
track.
clear.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
21.892.
I've raced a couple races with these, but I'm not sure if you can, like, if the tires really fall off a lot, you know?
Well, I ran like maybe 30 laps before you got on, and they didn't seem to fall off.
21.832.
Yeah, if I recall, that's because I re-raced these at Darlington a while back, and yeah, it's like you pretty much drive it the same way every corner.
.004.
And so I'm seeing how much is too much brake.
21.647.
Man, that's a good question because, like, I got my brake pressure set to where I can only put like maybe 60% of my braking into it, and I'm still locking them up.
21.445.
Well, okay. Yeah, I haven't messed with my brake bias yet. I think I might though.
I'm getting my car to be able to rotate in the turns, and I got mine down to 48.4.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I had to put a lot more rear brake into this than I thought.
try that. Yeah, for sure. I mean, because you're just pushing up the track, like, so obviously you gotta we gotta go the other way with that. Let's see. So you said you figured out the chat or the radio and all that?
Well, I think I'm starting to figure it out. I think me being friends on here now will definitely help. But I watched a guy do it earlier, and he was putting the @ symbol even in where the radio is, where you have to type in my name or whatever. He was still putting the @ symbol, and that's what he did. I did not do that yesterday.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah. It's just, I'm new to all that. Usually we would just talk on like Discord or something.
Dude, I'm telling you, you gotta get that Chad Knaus cuss pack, dude. If anything else, it's fucking entertaining when you're racing. He just sat here and yelled at the pit crew for doing me a shitty pit stop.
What is it called again?
21.643. .124. You've got the fastest lap.
Yeah, baby. So yeah, I'm sporting my patriotic 4th of July gloves. Of course, this fine part of the year. So, I mean, I couldn't resist. Could not resist. So, this is like, you really get into this, man. And this is without a rig that, like, that bumps and shakes and all that. This is just
21.808.
This is just a wheel that force feedback that's fucking with me. It's a lot of fun though. It's a lot of fun once you get it figured. Once these cars take a lot of break.
21.304.
You couldn't hear me just a second ago, could you?
No, last I heard, and I don't think you heard my reply. I said you were talking about the Chad Knaus chat.
21.712.
Can you hear me?
No. Yeah.
21.495.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Pit box in 10, 5, 3, 2, 1. Right here.
Like a glove. Like a glove. You got me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but can you hear me?
Okay, go.
Yeah, I got you, man. I got you. So, yeah, so I changed with my brake sensitivity, I guess. The range that you have to press, you know, the I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, changed that. And then I haven't haven't shifted the brake bias yet. I think I'll do that this round. But so like okay, so when it comes to the league, like Martinsville, how many laps do you thinking? Like you said, you want to do like 50%, right? So would that be like 250?
Well, I think that would be 250 laps, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and just based off of what I got right now, it looks like we got about 145 or so laps. Between 145 and 148 laps per tank. So, per run. So you figure, with how tires are, it should be a one pit stop race, maybe two. But yeah. Shaky, look at that.
Yeah, I was actually just starting to work out some of those details when you was getting on, because I got the 1987 schedule pulled up, and I was just looking at some of the races, because I would like to incorporate some of the more notable old school races, like the Rockinghams and the North Wilkesboro and Darlington type of thing,
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's like every time I try to sit down and do this stuff and start, writing, getting it all on paper, it's, hey, can you do this? Hey, we need to do that, or hey, whatever. So yeah, this is like the best time for me to do this stuff.
Right. Yeah, and I was like, so I kind of was looking on here. It's like, so they got the Clash, which they called it back then the Bush Clash, and then they had the 711 Twin 125s, and then the next week was the actual Daytona 500. So when I started making up a preliminary schedule here, I put week 1 as the exhibition race at Daytona, which would be like our version of the shootout, and then the next week will be our version of the Daytona 500, which I called the Daytona 250.
Oh, right. I gotcha. So why don't we do this, Josh? Why don't we start hosting races that are in this car and all that, and we'll call it League Audition, right? And then just leave it open, for however long. Once we get enough people in the practice, then we could go to the race that way. Because if you know what I mean, because if you got an hour worth of practice before you go into qualifying a race, then you could miss people, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. We could do that. I just wanted to at least get some kind of schedule, nothing set in stone, but something that me and you at least initially agree on. So we can pick a couple races out of that schedule and say, well, these are the races that we want to kind of watch people race. Because even if we host a race like that, I may not even race in it. I may watch everyone else race so I can pay attention to how they drive.
Yeah, exactly. You could be one of us could be basically a spotter, or just spectate. I think if you go into the hosted page, you can just go. It only has spectate, and the button has binoculars on it.
Yeah, we could do that, or we could do like what you were just saying, a spotter. And if you want to run a race, I'll spot for you, and then I can run a race, and you can spot for me, and we can just kind of watch how people drive. Be like a hidden admin, like they don't have to know that me and you are going to be like the top admins of the group, at least right away.
Exactly. Well, I don't know, because that's one of those things where it's like, because if they don't know that we're there, then they won't care, you know what I mean?
40.805.
Maybe I'm looking too much. You know what I'm trying to say, though?
Yeah, I actually probably what I meant would be like, okay, so if you're going to be on the track and I'll spot for you, they can know that I'm the admin of the group, but they should not know that you are, because if they don't know that there's an admin on the track, they're going to race you just like how they would race anyone else.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I got you. Dang, man, this this force feedback is loud on this thing.
Boxing in.
It's bad. Like just being parked, the thing's going left, right, like real
3,
fast.
2, 1. Right here.
Yeah, I had to turn mine way down for this track, and I guess it's just because these are older cars.
Yeah, for sure, because I don't have it on the other cars. Well, not in NASCAR, as far as I can recall. I think maybe the Gen 4, maybe, but I couldn't tell you for sure.
Yeah, but so I was thinking that since the first 3 races of the '87 season was Daytona, Rockingham, and Richmond, and I think that we should leave those 3 alone and leave it just like that, because all 3 of them tracks are on the game.
Would you say? What would you say? Rockingham, Richmond. What was the first one?
You know, the exhibition race, and then week 1 would be Daytona, week 2 could be Rockingham,
right,
and then week 3 would be Richmond.
Right. Okay. Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you're talking about the beginning of the season. Now Atlanta back in those days did they? I don't know for sure. You would probably know better now because you watched back then. But well, not '80s, but didn't Atlanta? Wasn't that just like the finale race? That I don't know if they raced there twice or not. Originally,
they did race there twice. Once, like 5 or 6 weeks into the season, and then Atlanta did used to be the finale, but that was back when it was shaped like Homestead.
Yeah, exactly. It still had, and it had the high banking too, because I don't recall it being super flat.
Yeah, it had the same type of banking that it's got now. It was just, oval instead of tri-oval. As a matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, Pit Road is what used to be the backstretch.
Yeah, they completely reconfigured it. I do know that. I
21
a couple
point
like
384.
like video or basically race replays. And it was it was beautiful.
But some of the tracks that are on here that we don't have, though, they don't have Riverside, which is the road course that we were trying to think of last night. And then I think, let's see, what's the other one? Actually, that's it. Riverside and the Old Atlanta are the only 2 tracks that we could not actually race on.
Yet.
Yeah, correct. But
21.62.
hold on, I think I got my I had a notepad that I was writing everything down on. I think with the 2 exhibition races, because I put an all-star race in the middle of the season too. So there's 12 points races plus 2 non-point races, so a 14-week season in total.
14.352.
Yeah, I figured that seemed pretty decent, because, 10 races would be even, but, I was like, I'm hoping that people will, I don't know, it just 12 races seem like a good number.
Yeah, I think that what iRacing does with their typical seasons is good. I think it's Well, see, here's the thing. What do you think about this? It's a 12 race season, but 2 of those races are an exhibition.
5, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, we can probably do it that way. So 10 points races and 2 non-point races.
Yeah, or maybe 1, or just throw some of those in there just to get some money in the pot and have fun with it.
Yeah, that probably would work pretty well.
We're done. Get going.
It's just going to suck picking only 10 tracks. That's going to be hard to pick, because some of them have to leave out.
Well, let's okay, so what tracks can we do with these?
Hold on and give me like 5 minutes so I can go in here and make me a cup of coffee real quick and grab me a notepad and a pen, and because I can't switch windows and still talk to you, so I'll grab a pen real quick and we will write down and we'll make up a schedule real quick, because I kind of had it half going, but you know, probably better to do it this way. I can always type everything out and make it official and shit, you know, once we set it in stone.
Yeah, I got a pad and paper here myself. I was going to start typing, but it's just like, we're old school, man. Yeah, handwriting. It's just, to me, it's just, yeah. It just, for me, the information transfers a lot better that way. What's Unreal? How you doing, man?
Right, well, I mean, that's that way I can have it wrote down with me right now. I mean, later on I'll put it in typing because we'll end up having to put it in like some kind of PDF form so that, you know, racers that come in can have a copy of the schedule.
Yep.
And all that crap.
Yeah. Yep. It's iRacing night, obviously.
But I have the actual 87 schedule and everything pulled up with me right here. So like I said, just give me a few minutes. I'm going to go in here and grab me something to drink and get myself settled real quick, and then we'll get this hammered out.
Okay, that sounds good, man. Okay, so for, you know, now that I'm not really racing, just kind of waiting around. It's like, I don't know if this sounds better or worse. I guess it couldn't hurt, but so yeah, right now what I'm doing is fucking with this damn microphone. No, what we're doing is an old buddy of mine, I bumped that, you know, got a hold of me because he started iRacing, and we've been trying to iRace together for a while, and we just now finally were able to do it. Every time you're live, what's up, man? Warnington. My dudes, man. Yeah, sorry I missed you guys the last couple of days. Yeah, trying to get this like a schedule, it just don't work very well. Life, you know, and all that crap. Some other stuff happens. But yeah, that's pretty bright. Yeah, I think. I mean, it looks like it is on mine, like on my feed. Does that car look pink to y'all? It's supposed to be red. I'm not sure if you guys can tell or not, but anyway, yeah. So what we're trying to do is we've always wanted to, we've always been, you know, we love, you know, racing games. So, and we're basically almost 40. So we were there when, you know, the first Formula One game came out, and it was just terrible graphics, and so we've seen that, you know, the racing games get better and better as, you know, throughout the years. And it wasn't until like PlayStation and Xbox came out with like in like 2000 to 2003, 2004, they really stepped up the NASCAR side of it, and well, not just NASCAR, all kinds, but that was when you could first really play online with people, right? So like the word multiplayer took on a whole new meaning as opposed to just split screen. So we started getting into it, you know, and I used to I've had like leagues through various consoles over the years, but iRacing is it's the top shit, you know. It's like your name, Unreal Gaming. Like, there's nothing that touches that Unreal Unreal Engine. Nothing touches it. So it's but yeah, so this is we're real excited about. We're trying to just work out all the, like, how we're gonna do the season, and we're gonna start in these old cars, because a lot of people, when they create their leagues, they start it as like, you know, with what they drive today. You know, they drive with the current trucks, the current Xfinity Series, the current Cup Series, usually. So we're trying to take it back to old school, where you could bump each other and nobody would get, you know, all butthurt and shit. So now, and this is a hard track in terms of yeah, trying to get speed, because it's basically a paperclip. It's Martinsville, so it's basically drag race, stop, do a U-E, drag race, stop, do a U-E, drag race. That's basically all the track is. See if I can get a bigger screen here. What about like blimp, or There you go. That kind of shows you a little bit what the track's like. That's all it is. It's like go, 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 stop. Go, 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 stop. And it's hard. You got to get like a rhythm and shit. But yeah, so we're trying to start this league. And what's up, Dre? How you doing, man? But yeah, we're trying to get this league started. And bye, Dre. We're trying to get this league started, and so we got to figure out, okay, because the tracks that we race, it can't be like the current version of the track. We want to make them the throwback one, you know, the oldest.
All right, I'm back. Are you there?
The oldest version. Yeah, I'm here, man. And so.
Alrighty.
That's what we're trying to work out.
I got my coffee, I got my vape pen, and I got paper. So okay.
Okay, sounds good. So, what I want to do is, since we're streaming. I mean, I'm live here. So, if you don't mind, like, well, you know, are you looking up shit like the schedule and all that good stuff?
I mean, yeah, I've already got the schedule pulled up right here.
Okay. Okay, so, what are the tracks? You said what was it? Riverside, and what was the other one that we don't have? The old Atlanta?
Correct, yeah, we do not have Riverside, which is a road course,
Good.
and we don't have the old Atlanta. And if we really wanted to put a track in there that resembled that, we had to use Homestead. But, you know, I mean, since we have to cut it down so minutes to, you know, only 10 races anyway, we might as well just leave Atlanta out.
Yeah, right. I mean, well, like Riverside. Oh, for the record, Riverside was that race that Mark Martin and Earnhardt were racing that I showed you. I told you about yesterday, the one I saw them racing back and forth. That's what it was, Riverside.
Yep, you're exactly right, and I was thinking of that too, but the name was not rolling off of my tongue.
Yeah, yeah. As soon as you said it, I'm like, wait, I think that's the one. Yeah. So, all right. So let's figure it out. I mean, so what we want to road? We only can do so many. Thanks, Juan. Thanks, Juan. But so when you only have so many tracks, it's almost like you want to do it by type. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, you know what I'm talking about. So, really, that's the question. I mean, obviously, we got to do Martinsville. We got to do all short tracks. So, there's 4. Well, is that 4? Martinsville, Bristol, Richmond, North, Wilkesboro. Well, that's 5, actually. And then, Rockingham. So, half the tracks are short tracks. If we were to do it that way, I mean. Are you guys familiar with racing? You guys?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I was with 10 races in total. I mean, figured we're just gonna have to figure out a good way to hash that one out because we got to have Daytona, and then I feel like we also got to have Talladega in there too.
Yeah, that's the other thing is also placement. Oh, you're not? Oh, dude. Oh, sorry, I was talking a little too live. But yeah. Yeah, you have to have those tracks. I mean, obviously. So it's almost like you want to. If it's only 10 to 12 races, there's not really a whole lot of ways you can really mix it up. So you just kind of toss them. It's really more or less what's the first, what's the middle, what's the second to last and last. You know, since it's based off just the old point system. You should get die racing, Juan. You'd love it. Well. If you like any kind of racing.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up and down the schedule here and just kind of see how they have it. Because, it's like they got Daytona, Rockingham, and Richmond. So that super speedway, and short track.
Exactly. That's basically essentially it, But, like Atlanta was the last one. So what would we do for us? Like, there was no Homestead, so I guess you could do what, Phoenix? But that's what they have now, so I don't want to, you know what I mean? So I think North Wilkesboro would be a cool. I think that would be fun because not a lot of people have a lot of experience on it, especially in these fucking cars. It's called iRacing.
Yeah, well,
Racing,
we
one
could
word.
do North Wilkesboro, or the next track that we have available to us that they race would be Darlington.
Oh yeah, yeah. Darlington is by far gonna be in there. I mean, you could almost start the season with Darlington. Not that we would, but you know, like just in terms of, you know, prestige.
Oh yeah, you can't have a NASCAR season, especially a throwback season, without Darlington. Even if you love Darlington or hate Darlington, you have to have Darlington.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm saying. So we could do that like the halfway point, but that I think Darlington should be a longer race. Like it'll be like the 600.
Okay, so we could do like an extra long Darlington race as like the fifth race of the season, the 5th points race, right before the halfway point.
There you go. There you go. Exactly. They had the Brickyard back then, right? Oh no, that was '94. So that's like my question. How do you want to do this? Like in terms of era. I mean, you want to do strictly '80s, or I mean, I think the Brickyard would be fun in these cars, you know.
Yeah, I was thinking for this season we should try and keep it as period correct as possible, just because it's kind of a nice throwback and like a relief, I guess, from all the newer stuff. Season 2 and stuff, for when we move up to the other cars, definitely, but like, I don't know, something about keeping it old school.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Yeah, I forgot that we're gonna gradually, you know, progress into different eras.
Alright, so then how about for the first half of the season, it would be week 1 would be the Daytona exhibition race.
21 points.
And then week 2 would be the actual Daytona race. Then week 3 would be Rockingham. Week 4 would be Richmond. Week 5 would be North Wilkesboro. And then week 6 would be the extended Darlington race.
Sorry, say that again. There's 6 races. 6 races, right? Can you repeat that?
Yeah, that would be a total of 6 races. And then after Darlington, we would do like an all-star race, which would be another non-points race, and then we would just do the other 6, or other 5 points races.
Okay, so what do you have again in terms of order?
21.954.
Right now it is Daytona, Rockingham, Richmond, North Wilkesboro, Darlington.
Okay, so, but the reason there's 2 Daytonas is obviously because one's the shootout.
Correct.
22.005.
Do you want to? What do you want to make? Do you want to make Darlington the next, you know, Noble 5, or do you want to do like Indy or some shit? Not Indy, but you know what I mean.
Like, what do you mean? Like, as far as like one of the big races of the year?
Well, okay, yeah. So there's 2. So like the big races. Obviously, like there's only 10 races, we'll say, because 2 of them's gonna be. Well, I'm not sure how we're gonna do it, but how many of those are gonna be? Do we want? I mean, I don't know. The Noble 5, I think we should hold off until the next season. You know what I mean? When we have more drivers, more investment, more in a longer season. You know, what do you think?
I actually think that's a really good idea. Just that way we don't get too, you know, bite off more than we can chew. Like, I like how we're trying to keep it as real as possible. But yeah, we tolerate. I mean, plus we could use the no bull type of thing. Is like all the people who come from the previous season, if they won the Daytona, if they won Darlington, if they won Bristol, then that's how they qualify for this year's no bull.
There you go. Absolutely. Just slam this.
That being said, do we want to do the All-Star race? Do we want to keep it legit to the All-Star theme and go with Charlotte?
38.75.
I mean, that's 100% fine. See, the thing I'm trying to, because it's not so much the tracks that I'm real focused on, it's the type of racing that it's going to create. You know, so that's why I'm focused on a lot of the short tracks, because when you see these, like you said, when you see these cars, it takes you back to when door slamming each other, and it didn't really fuck up anybody. You know, I mean, yeah, you lose your position, but it didn't cause you a shit ton of damage and speed down the later in the race. So by getting in, staying around these short tracks, you know, the red and white walled, that's what I call them, the red and anything with red and white walls needs to be in the league, in the season. So, you know, Richmond, Darlington, Martinsville, North Wilkesboro. I don't remember if Richmond had it, but yeah, basically that kind. You know what I'm saying?
22.62.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think that's where the second half of our season is really going to shine, because we can put tracks like, we can put Martinsville, Bristol. We can put, Dover. We can put, we can put Watkins Glen. Watkins Glen was a track back then too.
22.0.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say we should make sure we do at least one road course, and yeah, absolutely. Because I think 12 races is a bit much for both, for all the both road courses. Considering all the other tracks we're trying to get in.
22.2.
At the same time, it's like, well, you pick. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out in terms of like how we go about this. Like, okay, so we want the intermediate tracks. Which ones do we want? I mean, Charlotte, I like for the All-Star race. I think we should stick to that. Yeah. But then like the other ones, like there was no Kansas.
22.402.
Indy. That's not an intermediate, but there was no Las Vegas, I don't believe. So was Dover a track back in the 80s? I don't even know.
It was. They actually raced it twice in the 87 season.
0.046.
Really? Well, hell. Okay, well, you gotta put Dover in there then.
Yeah, so far, like while you was talking there, I was thinking about it and jotted it down real quick. So then we would have Darlington is the last race of the first half of the season. Then we would have Charlotte as our all-star race. And then going back into the points racing, we would have Bristol, Dover, Watkins Glen, Martinsville.
Pit boxing 10.
Wait, say that again, those last ones? You want to end with Martinsville?
3, 2.
No, we actually have one more race we need to decide on. That's what I was going to say, is that we should come up with a really good finale race.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I think, because here's the thing. I mean, with 10 races, everybody's going to be pretty much on top of each other in terms of points, I would imagine, unless there's someone who's just whooping ass. But it's still going to be a pretty tight race, So I was, what do you think about, like, okay, so what do you think about, and I'm not saying we have to do it. It's a thought. What do you think about start the season in Daytona, end it in Darlington?
Move it.
Okay, yeah, we could do that. Put Darlington down there, and then what track we don't have on here that we should have on here? Talladega. So we could make Talladega the last race of the first half of the season. the last race of the first half of the season and put Talladega as the first race of the second half.
Yeah, I mean, we can alter that later, like in a different season. But yeah, I think and I think it'd be better for competition-wise because now you got both restrictor plates races out of the way, and still have five races to go, 6 races to go, to make up for whatever hell may happen, which is inevitable, as you know.
Fair enough. Okay, so then that would make it from week 1 to week 12. We would be at Daytona, Rockingham, Richmond, North Wilkesboro, Bristol, All-Star Break at Charlotte, Talladega, Dover, Watkins Glen, Martinsville, season finale at Darlington.
Okay, so I'm gonna write down what you're saying. So after each, after you say each one, give me like 2 seconds to write it down, and then say the next one if you could. I got the first 2 Daytonas. Yeah.
All right, so week 3 will be Rockingham.
Okay.
Week 4 would be Richmond.
Go ahead.
Week 5 would be North Wilkesboro.
Next 2.
Week 6 will be Bristol, and then week 7 will be the Charlotte All-Star Break.
Okay.
Next will be Talladega. That would be week 8.
Gotcha. Next 2.
Week 9 will be Dover. Week 10 will be Watkins Glen.
Okay.
Next will be Martinsville, and then the finale will be Darlington.
Okay, so now that I can see it on paper, now now I can, how it is. You got to see it to kind of visualize a little better. Okay, so I like the shootouts. I like the shootout Daytona. Got to keep that. Rockingham was always the second race of the season, if I recall, like you said. I actually remember that because I caught the end of Rockingham's career, I guess, or life in NASCAR. So. Yeah, I like that. Now, when it comes to the rest of I think what we're missing here, I love all the short tracks. That's the thing. But there's no, other than Charlotte, which isn't even a points race, there's no intermediate tracks. I mean, unless you want to count Dover. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and honestly, that's kind of how their season worked. Here, I'll just read you off real quick the actual schedule here. So this is the official schedule in 1987. What?
Okay.
Daytona, Rockingham, Richmond, Atlanta, Darlington, North Wilkesboro, Bristol, Martinsville, Talladega, Charlotte for the All-Star Break, Dover, Pocono, Riverside, Michigan, Daytona, Pocono, Talladega, Watkins Glen, Michigan, Bristol, Darlington, Richmond, Dover, Martinsville, North Wilkesboro, Charlotte, Rockingham, Riverside, and finale at Atlanta.
Dude, I swear. I mean, that's awesome. But yeah, they weren't really known for the intermediates. That's like those took off in the 90s or something. But I could have sworn you said Michigan and and like one other race or one other track like 3 times. But what about Michigan or Pocono? You know, what do you think about tossing one of them in there? Because I mean, we do have like Rockingham and Richmond, in North Wilkesboro and in Bristol. I mean, they're all back to back to back to back, just like in the real season. And I love that. So, do you? What are your thoughts about taking one of those out and throwing in a Pocono or a Michigan or, you know, I think that was the only other 2 intermediate tracks that you said. 'Cause there was no Fontana, there was no Indy, there was only Charlotte. What about in Texas? Was in '99, I think, is when it started or something like that.
Yeah, because a lot of those tracks came around when the cars got real aerosensitive. So, these cars were built not to be aerodynamic.
Exactly, yeah, I think that's what it was. The tracks created the monster of that the car is. It's not a monster. These are monsters. Those are, yeah, exactly, aero sensitive. Yeah, absolutely.
See, now, it's funny you say it, because that's why my schedule initially had the 14-week schedule, because I definitely wanted Michigan and Pocono in there, especially Pocono, because Pocono was big back then. But, it was like I didn't know what to cut out.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like, which track do you cut? Like, yeah, what track do you cut out? Every single track is awesome, and they all drive different. I love Richmond. I've been to that race 12 times, basically. About 10 times. And so I love it. But, like, at the same time, we need it. So, I guess, like, the only other thing we can think about is maybe taking out the All-Star, because it's a short season, so why throw it all, you know what I mean? Maybe, as an idea, as an option, and then bump, throw Michigan in that spot, or Pocono, or whatever.
I'll be opposed to doing that, and then, we can maybe try an all-star race for season 2.
Yeah, exactly, because then we'd have more data as far as who's eligible. And plus, we're not going to have, all this, because the All-Star is a payout, right? So, and so is the shootout. But the shootout, yeah, it's a payout, so I would like to acquire some membership, league membership, revenue before we just start, hey, here's a race, here.
Right. Yeah. Well, I was thinking with since this year, the first season 1, we're going to have free admission and stuff. I figured the all-star, the shootout,
right,
is more of a warm-up race for everybody.
Yep.
Completely voluntary. But this is going to be a good chance for you to not only maybe potentially find a drafting partner, but just to get a feel for how the league is going to run.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go 100% live with it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's basically an official test where we get used to each other. And to me, Daytona and Martinsville, or even North Wilkesboro, a super speedway and a short track are those are basically going to be the very telling tracks as far as what kind of drivers we are, the league's going to be full of, and how, the temperament of it all, and the respect and the give and take and all that stuff. So, I love that I love the idea of doing the shootout, or throwing the shootout in there at the beginning of the league, because of the season, because it's just, like I said, yeah, it's a learning experience for everybody.
Absolutely. So what race would you want to substitute the All-Star race for then? I hate Pocono with everything that I stand for, but you know I don't want to be biased. So if you think Pocono is a good choice, then speak now, because I will cut that bitch in a heartbeat.
Right? Tracks aren't supposed to be trials. Fuck that track. Yeah, I completely understand. Actually, I just raced it in these cars 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. And it's hard. It's hard, but it's one of those tracks like it's so big, and especially with these cars, like you either typically in these cars you either hit that line perfect or you're losing 3/10 in that corner. So that makes for fun racing, you know. And but you know, Michigan on the other hand, I haven't raced these cars in Michigan. I don't know what that racing is like. I know what Pocono's like, and it was all right. It was cool. Um, but yeah, we definitely. All I know is we need one of those. If we don't decide, can't really decide on which one, I can always just write down a number and a track next to it, and you pick the number, and that'll be the track. So, but you raced up on in Michigan at Michigan with these cars. How was that? I mean, other than being wrecked out.
Well, I didn't race there in this car. I raced there in the Xfinity car.
Oh,
and
that's
I mean,
right.
Michigan was okay. I mean, it was a nice, smooth track and everything. But I imagine that with these cars, there will be a loose handful. So you know, I mean, you know, at Pocono, I imagine they could still be really loose, but you know, you still have to use quite a bit of brake, I imagine. But at Michigan, you don't really have to use brake, and I can see these cars being a wreck fest there.
Yeah, yeah, especially when you're on the inside trying to, yeah, exactly. That's the hardest part. Um, but that's what I mean, yeah, I'll come back to that. But yeah, it's yeah. When everyone's running, you know, the middle and top, the bottom, you know, that's how you snap loose, right? I mean, you'll snap loose right off the corner, and um, especially, you know, you get the 3 wide, the 4 wide, which are gonna have that, you know, usually, you know, out of turn one and turn two, and at Pocono, usually turn three ends up single file pretty quick, you know, just because you get that long straightaway, and it's better to just get in line than, you know, race side by side and slow both of you down. So, I mean, I don't know. I've never raced these cars, so I don't. I think either one, both. There's reasons that both are kind of a pain in the ass, but also like good racing. So like Pocono for me personally, turn two, like turn three is probably the easiest turn for me in with these cars at that track, which is crazy because turn three used to be the hardest. Like in other cars, for me, it's the more complicated turn because it sweeps around so for like forever, you know. So yeah, it's weird.
Well, maybe we'll just go ahead and put Pocono in there, and you know, it is what it is. You know, some people are going to be really good there, and I'll just not. I'm okay with it. Like I said, I don't want to be biased. Like I don't want to cut it just because I know I don't like it.
Right.
But you're right. It is a good track to have, especially for a throwback series.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was getting at. Yeah. I mean, because there's no, especially in these cars, because there's no real. It's basically there's not really any advantage or disadvantage that you can do by changing your line. I mean, it's basically if you hit your marks, regardless of what line you're running, you're gonna be, pretty decent as far as, you know, coming off the corner. Like you can come off the bottom, relative pretty much just as fast and with just as much momentum as you can the top, unless you're side by side, you know. But yeah, I mean Michigan, it's yeah, I don't know. It's a coin flip for me. I mean, me personally, I'm not fond of Dover, not because of the track itself, just because of the racing. Because there's nowhere to fucking go when someone does something stupid or loses control of their car. Where are you going? You ain't going nowhere. You're going right into that shit. Yeah, I'll do some later. Well,
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
I'm not
man.
the biggest
I'm
fan of
sorry,
Dover
I'm not.
either, but I do like
Yeah.
Dover because it's a high bank track,
Yeah,
and I kind of favor the higher bank tracks.
I'll get on there at 3 o'clock Eastern, if you're still up.
Which is kind of weird because with me being a road racer as well, you think that I would be able to get these flat tracks down pretty good, but when you get used to racing a 2,500 pound, sports car and you get into a 4,000 pound fucking brick, it's a big learning curve.
Yeah, there's a huge difference. You want to get in Pocono? Go check out Pocono for a minute?
We would have to start a whole new session.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't care, I'll do it. I'll get one ready. Heck, I'll even invite other people join. Fuck it.
I mean, yeah, I'm down for it if you want. You know me. I mean, I'll probably, with the way we're talking and stuff, I'll probably end up sitting in the pits and writing for a lot of it. But I'll run some laps on Pocono. I know I need to because I've never been there before. Not in iRacing anyway.
You know what? I like that. You know what? While I'm thinking of it about the notes, okay. So write down Martinsville. Write down the fuel window. That way we don't have to do it later. Yeah. Write down the fuel window. I'm not sure if there's anything else that we need to know when planning the season or the schedule, other than that, unless there is something I'm missing.
No, we're definitely going to need to know how the fuel windows are going to work out with these races. But I'm actually right now. Well, what is the fuel window? Go ahead and tell me that while you're thinking of it. What's it say on your car anyway? I'm not inside the car.
Yeah, I got to get back in it here. I got a brand new car. This says 157 laps. So what I would say, because it's always like 3 or 4 miles out, 3 or 4 mile or laps difference depending on whatever the fuck. So I would call it 150 or 150 to 155 or somewhere in there, because it'll at least be that in there. Like if I were to get out and request new car, so it's 157.4 right now, right? So watch this. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I got it.
Thank you. I love you.
All right. Well, while you're setting up another room, then I'm gonna go ahead and I'll back out of here, and I'm gonna get some. I'm gonna look at some of these races and get some lap numbers.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Yeah. I'll get that ready. We'll do like a sprint of some kind there at the end of practice if you're up for it. It's on computer only one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. All right, bro. I'll hit you with the info. Alright, let's get out of here. Okay, so what we need to do now is withdraw from that. We're gonna make a new one. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. The only issue with it, it's not even really iRacing's fault. It's everybody. Create a race. Anyways, so it's the people that you race at, or it's the people that you're racing against. Because if they're not clean or they're crazy or they're playing it, no offense, but playing it like PlayStation shit, we call them arcaders because they're console drivers. And when they come on here, this is a simulator, so it's all basically realistic. There's no assists really. You can have assists, but they're not really going to help you in terms of speed. There's no getting around damage. You know, if you hit something, you get what's called an incidence point, so that hurts your overall rating. Where you finish, affects your overall rating. Yeah, so it it's fun. It's a lot of fun, but it's only as fun as the people you're racing. What? Activity detected in your live? What are you talking about? I'm not freaking activity. Oh, I'm not on it. What do you think you're talking about? I am on it, you dingus. Yeah. But yeah, so it's only as fun as people you race, and if they're fast and decent, or they don't like they race you with respect, it's fun. It's a lot of fun, because then it's like that's realistic, Whereas the console games are more of just fuck it, kind of thing. So it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun, but not now. Oh yeah, launch now. Yeah, and that's the thing. It takes a minute to um, get you. We'll do. I'll do 45 minutes, I guess. Qualifier. It's gonna be laps. We're gonna do 3. Yep, and then shit. Um, yeah, it can be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. Very, yeah. And that's why we're doing it. We're trying to make a league, to where we get a lot of good drivers and respectful drivers and drivers who want to have a good time without destroying everybody's race. And, win maybe a little bit of money at the end of the season. So that's kind of the idea um, with that. Um, that's what we'll do. 45. Oh, wait. There is no password. Shit. So I'm gonna go ahead and be right back. And yes, I'm on here. Love you, Juan. All right, so let's see here. Thanks for the love, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah. Roses, man, I love Unreal. Hey, if you see Unreal, I don't know if you guys are friends, but let him know I'm gonna be on Red Dead here in a couple hours, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, thank you very much for the subs, guys. I love it. You'll see a lot more later. I promise you for that. I promise you about that. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get this done here.